What is going on, everyone? Hope you're doing well today. It'll be interesting if I can get through this without coughing. Or I'm definitely getting sick. Yesterday, I thought I might be getting sick. Today, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm getting some kind of cold. So we'll see if we can get through this. If it keeps going like this, there's a good chance I'm not here on Friday. So we'll see. But, sometimes when you're sick or you think you're getting sick in the morning and at night's the worst. So we'll see. But today, what I want to do is continue on the Chief Joseph stuff and then move a little bit away from the history behind what happened to him and more into some of the techniques that he used during his speech. I would like to go over some of the techniques, 4 techniques that greats, we would call them orators. Okay, so somebody who gives a speech is called an orator. Not an easy word to say, but and then we'll look at some great ones from the past. Some of the big ones, like 2 from Dr. King. We're gonna watch one from Ronald Reagan, one from Nixon, just like speeches that have been prepared mostly by presidents, but not all. And they do use some of these techniques that we are going to talk about. And Chief Joseph does as well. And since you are probably given the chance in Mr. Bim's class to make your case for which decade of the 20th century is the most important, you can use some of these techniques. And remember, though, I'm not sure, remember, just because you have the loudest voice, that doesn't make you right. So just because you're talking over top of somebody, that's just not the way it works. We're going to talk about making sure that somebody has expert opinions, and nobody in the school really is an expert in anything. So if you can gather evidence from sources who have done actual research, it just makes your point that much stronger. Okay, so let me pull up this thing, and that talks about 4 techniques. Hopefully you saw or heard or whatever one of these yesterday, because I did mention it and it was fairly obvious. Excuse me. But let's start right here. Analyzing the craft and structure. So we're going to get into the nuts and bolts of this, how this is done. Persuasive techniques and word choice. So we'll talk about word choice in just a minute. But some of these persuasive techniques, just going to start, I don't think we have to read that part, right? But the use of repetition. So consists of saying something repeatedly for effect. I think one of the best people to, excuse me, ever do this was Dr. King. We're going to listen to his I Have a Dream speech, and he will use repetition quite a bit. Chief Joseph uses repetition quite a bit. Starting, it could be ending too, but Chief Joseph, I believe, he will mostly start his sentences, maybe 3 or 4, with the same words. And so the idea is that it's going to resonate with you. You are going to pick up on that, and it's just going to be another way to get the audience on your side. I'm not sure. I was thinking when you hear of some of the great orators, I always say that wrong, orators of history. I mean, you got to think like Hitler, right? If you've ever seen his fiery speeches, they're all in German. So not that I would show Hitler in class anyways, but apparently he was one of the best. And one technique not on the page that we're going to read here is that he would, whatever room he was speaking in, okay, maybe it was auditorium, maybe sometimes a stadium, but if he could control the temperature, he would make it a little bit warmer than usual. And if he was coming on at 8 o'clock, he would wait until 8:10 or 8:15 to get the tension built up. So I'm not sure if any of our orators does that kind of a technique or anything, but it is, if you can control it, I guess, turn the heat up a little bit and then wait for a little while so your audience is anticipating you showing up. So let me bring this up. Sorry, my voice is just not cooperating here today. The next one is this. Yeah, appeal to reason. Appeal to reason. So this is where we start to get into like some of the facts that will back up your position. So invite the audience to use logic as they draw conclusions from the evidence presented by the writer or the person giving the speech. So what you want to do is have like, you want to back this up, like give them logic, make them like realize, don't just pull facts out of thin air. Use facts. I mean, this makes basic sense, right? But use facts, use logic to make your case stronger. Chief Joseph will do that. He will appeal to all people being created equal. And he's going to back it up by like, hey, you make a law, I'm going to follow it. That's the logic there. Like, I'm not going to try to mess with the system or anything. So appeal to logic. Make this a little bigger so we can see it. Excuse me. The next one, emotions. Come on. If you can do that, if you can, some of the great speechwriters like of today, emotion, one of the things you could study, some do, is the work of Pixar. Pixar, in just a few short minutes, can make you feel something. A lot of times it's sadness. A lot of times it's happiness. And a lot of times what they do, we talked about this before, is they will juxtapose those two emotions right next to each other. Juxtaposition. Remember, when you have two opposites side by side, think of something like Finding Nemo, right? The beginning, if you remember, Marlin and his wife find out like, oh, we're gonna be parents, blah blah blah. So you got that joyfulness right there, and then within a few seconds, like everything in Marlin's world is turned upside down, and he's left with one, little offspring, I guess you would call it, a little fish. Up does the same thing. Excuse me. In a few short minutes, you get I can't remember their names, but the couple's life. You get the whole joy. It's very similar to Finding Nemo. You get these emotions. My goodness, sorry. Oh, I'll make this a little bit shorter. Maybe we won't reread Chief Joseph because, like I said, I can't get through it. But maybe tomorrow we will if I have a voice or whatever. You have those two emotions right next to each other about them having a baby or wanting to start a family, and then finding out that they can't have a family. And then it's awful. Then she passed away. So those emotions, good or bad, can be very effective when given a speech. Let's share these last two right here. Or the last one, I'm sorry. Appeal to authority. So this is something we've been working on with all of your essays, right? Like in the 9 intelligences, you didn't just say, oh, I feel this certain way because I think so. It was backed up with Gardner's work on those 9 intelligences. So you always want to, because even myself, like I haven't done any research on any one particular topic. I haven't created any experiments of any kind. So even when I'm like writing a paper for my school that I'm in right now, my classes that I'm taking, I'm just a teacher. Yeah, I've been teaching a long time, but I always appeal to authority, like people who are experts in the field. It always makes your information stronger if you can back it up with someone who's actually done the work. All right, so my voice is rough here. So what I would like to do is stop this, and then we'll get into some of those great speeches. It's like 20 minutes. So hopefully it's entertaining. At any point when you have something to say, like it's a lot of historical things, and I know in each class there's a couple of people in there that know quite a bit about history somehow. So feel free if you would want to interject something, that would be amazing. Save my voice a little bit from doing it. So, all right, then a little bit of working class. Adios, amigos.